Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bananas. I am Kurt Brownohler.
I am Scotty Landis. Welcome to all our non-binary buddies, too. We have a wonderful guest today, Kurt. I think maybe we get right into it, unless you want to announce a couple tour dates at the very top.
You know I do, pal.
Ooh, buddy.
Because of course, everyone, I'm touring to get ready for my comedy special taping August 29th in Denver at the Gothic Theater. Tickets are available now. You can get them on the Instagram, on our Instagram, The Bananas Podcast. And I'm doing a few shows to support it, going up to it. Lafayette, Louisiana. Is that the way you say it? That's great. Lafayette, Houston, Austin, August 5th, 6th, 7th. Los Angeles, August 12th. And then we're in Denver, August 29th. And
Wonderful.
then I will stop bothering your ears with all of these show announcements after that. And then we'll be bothering you with Bananas tour announcements.
That's right. Well, I'm going to be at the Denver show, so come on out, and we'll all hang out, and it'll be a very lovely experience.
Now, to get to our fantastic guest, she is deeply hilarious comedian. You've seen her in Comedy Central's Corporate, on Apple Plus's Mythic Quest, and HBO's Crashing. You've heard her on BoJack Horseman and on Fox's new animated series, The Greath North, which is very, very funny. Please welcome Aparna Nancherla.
Hi guys.
Woo.
Hello.
Hey, Aparna. Welcome to Bananas.
Thank you for having me. Bananas, one of my top fruits.
Yes,
Is
top
that
fruit.
true?
Yeah. I think I have probably eaten of all the fruits the most bananas in my life.
I think
They're great for you. They prevent cramping. Potassium's
Yes.
good.
Yep.
They're very portable. You can stuff them in a bag and not be embarrassed about it.
Very portable. They go good with a lot of other things.
And it's the only fruit that is the container for an entire sundae, right?
Yes. Good point.
Container.
It's kind of a container. It's like the bottom.
Yeah.
There's a thing behind it, but we can pretend that the banana's holding it up.
Yeah.
That's right. Aparna, how is the New York City comedy scene? Is the grand reopening happening or shows popping up again?
Yeah, it feels like it has exploded.
Good.
I co-host a show on Monday nights, and we just had our third one back, and the audiences have been on fire.
Oh, good.
They are very excited to be out of their homes.
Yeah. I think people are really psyched. I did a show last night, and it was just, in Echo Park outside in a parking lot. And there was like 150 people crammed into this tiny space. It was wonderful. It felt really good.
Yeah, I would say the first show back felt a little surreal. It was like my first live show I had done at all.
Wow.
Yeah, and it felt so strange to be around so many other people.
Yes. And I've been to a few just as an observer, as a fan, and it was funny to see a lot of my favorite comedians having to shake off the rust. Like, it really was people, like, kind of eating shit in a way that they usually are just all killers, and it was fun.
Right.
I could tell the comics, as much as you never want to bomb, it was also fun for them to be like, I haven't even felt this in a year and a half, so this feels cool.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, no, it's very exciting. And the Greath North is so wonderful. Congratulations on that.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Kurt. You were in an episode.
I was in an episode.
And you were very funny because we were, I think, at a table read together, and you got some real guffaws from those suits.
Oh, yeah.
I got the suits. I made their ties wiggle. I got them giggling.
That's the ultimate goal. Well, let me tell you, too, about this wonderful baby that was born on 7-Eleven Day at a 7-11 p.m. Okay, this was sent in by Pooja S. Mehta. Thank _ at the end there. Thank you, Pooja. USA Today article, Curdy B. We love them. Keeping the hotel newspaper business in business.
For years, I always saw it. I thought it was called You Sat O Day, and now I find out.
So progressive. Written by Joshua, how would you pronounce this? B-O-T-E. B-O-T-E. Boat? Boat? Boot? Body?
Boaty?
Let's
bow tie. Bow tie.
I like Bowtie. Joshua Bowtie for USA Today. He is the best in the business when it comes to writing about babies. So born on 7-Eleven Day at 7:11 p.m., this baby weighed 7 pounds, 11 ounces, and received a 7-Eleven college fund. Incredible.
Whoa.
Call it Kismet, call it Stranger Than Fiction, but a baby born in St. Louis was born on 7-Eleven Day. At all the times I said. Lovingly referred to as the 7-Eleven babies, officials at 7-Eleven convenience store chain ensured that Jamie Brown or Jamie Brown, it's J apostrophe Amy, so we're going to say Jamie or Amy is well taken care of into her teenage years. They kickstarted her college fund and supplied a bunch of childcare goods to her family. Her parents, Shantez and Rachel, are overjoyed at the birth. And the birth followed a pattern, apparently. She said that she saw the numbers 7 and 11 repeatedly over the course of her pregnancy.
Wow.
I don't know. Rachel said, I thought it was weird at first. I didn't know that the numbers 7-11 meant so much. A lot of times during pregnancy, I would look at the clock and it was 7-11. I mean, something's going on. But also, if she's lying, great lie, because the other coincidences are so powerful that we just have to believe everything she's saying.
Yeah.
And then the highlight is, after catching wind of this incredible news, 7-Eleven corporate decided to pledge $7,111 to the newborn baby's college fund to honor her entry into the world. And then they also gave her a buttload of diapers.
Oh, that's great. That'll buy books in 2040 when she goes to school.
That'll buy first semester books freshman year, $7,111. But
that's a lot nicer than $7.11, which they could have easily also.
They didn't have to do anything, and they did something very nice. I should stop shitting on 7-Eleven. I apologize. I'm a Wawa guy, so I come out hard. I take the gloves off when 7-Eleven's around.
You really do. I thought that
was. Do you guys really think the baby weighed 7 pounds 11 ounces, or do you think they had to fudge one of the things there?
Yeah,
do you think it was like 7 pounds 9 ounces and threw a couple chocolate chips on the scale? Got it up
I see what you're saying. Maybe it was an 8-pound baby, and they lifted the hand slightly off the scale when weighing it. Yeah,
they're like, we really need this to work.
Maternity nurses are always carrying chocolate chips in their pocket to alter baby's weight. We all know that they're doing it.
It's a common knowledge.
Very, very big practice in the St. Louis metropolitan area. But yes, they didn't have to do anything. I think it's a nice thing. 7-Eleven.
I think it's nice too.
It's there when you need it. In Tokyo, it's the place you go when you need an ATM. It's the most affordable and easiest to use ATMs. They started putting them in New York, and all my friends, all like my Brooklyn friends, were like, "Oh, this sucks. There goes the neighborhood." And then you'd catch them in there at 3 a.m. Just walking out with with Gatorade. It's there for a reason. It's a banger for a reason.
Yeah.
I was born at 12:34 p.m. 1, 2, 3, 4. I thought that was cool, but this really blows me out of the water.
That is cool, though. I was back home in Maryland, and I was in my late 20s, and I've been living in New York for a long time, and I was used to, you go out and get drinks, you go to comedy shows, you do whatever, and then you grab a falafel for the subway ride home, or you grab sort of chicken on rice or whatever it is. And I leave a friend's house party. It was like big chill style, and I'm driving through my parents' town, and I'm like, I'm hungry. I was like, what is open? I was like, I bet Taco Bell or something like that's open. Wasn't open. Nothing. So then you realize remember, like, sometimes in big cities you're spoiled because you can still get pretty much anything at any time of day. So I went to 7-Eleven, the great and powerful 7-Eleven for the first time in like 10 years. And as I parked my car in an empty parking lot, I'm walking in, and the cashier was a woman in her mid-20s smoking a cigarette in the store, comes storming out crying and passes me in the doorway. So I'm like, she's having a moment. Like, who knows what she just dealt with or the phone call she had. So I go, and I'm like, well, I'm going to make a big bite. So I go grab water, and I grab a hot dog, and I'm waiting politely, and she's sitting on the curb smoking angrily, facing away from me. And so I'm like, well, how long do I stand here before I am like, can you ring me up, please, ma'am? So I probably waited for 2 full minutes, maybe longer. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to leave $5 on the register, and I'll just be like, I put cash down, and I go in my wallet, and I don't have any cash, so I'm like, okay. And then I'm trying to figure out how to stick the credit card. Like, I'm trying to figure this out because I don't want to bother. I'm like, certainly I can ring this up. So I walk over and I see the ATM and I go, great, I'm going to just hit the ATM. ATM doesn't work. So then I open the door just to say, ma'am, can you ring me up? And as I open the door, the little bells on the handle chime, and she looks up and just looks at me and she goes, does it look like I give a fuck? And then I just walked out with my hot dog and the Gatorade and just left with it. So I guess I technically robbed it. I tried to exhaust, but yeah, just turns up, cigarette, like still tears in her eyes, and just hammered me with it. But she wasn't being mean to me. She was just like, steal the whole store. I should have gone back in there and gotten some Pennzoil or something.
Oh,
whoa.
Yeah. It was like the biggest wimp in the world just trying to be like, how do I make this right? And then the coolest person on earth smoking a Marlboro being like, just leave, asshole. I don't care. I don't want to be here either.
I think I've been in showbiz too long because I immediately tried to start casting who would play that girl in my head.
Lisa Traeger.
Oh, who did you come? Oh,
who did
that's great.
Who? Wait, who did you
Traeger.
say? Oh, yes. Oh, my God. Yes. There's no other person. I was like, maybe I put in like an Emma Stone, like first breakout cameo in an independent film.
Yeah.
But Lisa, so much better.
I could also see a Mae Whitman.
Ooh.
Yes.
May can hammer it. That would be good. That's I'm going to tell May that. I'll call May. May, we think you should work at a 7-Eleven sitcom. Aparna's going to star in it. I'll write it. Kurt wants in. I like that show.
It's mostly about sadness. It's a sadness sitcom. It's a situational tragedy.
Sad, but someone walks away with a free hot dog. So
at the end of every episode, a nervous man leaves a little buzzed with a hot dog and hurries to his parents' car that he's borrowing. Curdy B, you got one for us, homie?
I sure do. Let's see, which is this? Okay, I'll do this one. Police. Okay, this is sent in by me. This was in the Independent.
Nice job.
Police call for cocaine users to be banned from football matches after Euros mayhem.
Oh, really?
This was crazy. So a couple Bananimals sent in what the reason the article that kind of inspired this investigation. But this was written by Lizzie Dearden in the Independent.
Oh, she's good. She's real good.
She's very good. Yeah,
she's great.
The BITB best in the biz. Mm-hmm. And so the big question I have right when you read this is, aren't cocaine users, isn't it already illegal to openly do cocaine?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, great question.
Yeah, but it looks like the UK really needs to be specific in that you can't openly do cocaine while watching football.
Got it.
Because during the Euros, it was craziness.
Last month.
Specifically, there was this guy who went viral.
Oh no!
He's in the dumbest bucket hat. He's in a bucket hat, which was like a Dolce & Gabbana bucket hat, which cost like €700.
Yes, that is stupid.
And I only found that out like later. That's not even the tip of the iceberg with this guy. In one video, you see him on the shoulders of a man, and he's like getting the crowd going, and he's like chanting, and then taking out this like a monkey's paw of cocaine, and then putting a key in and just fucking doing bumps on someone's shoulders. And then the crowd is cheering him on, and then he's putting the key in and giving cocaine to people
God.
Oh, God.
He hops down off this guy's back,
naturally
runs over, picks up a flare from somewhere, pulls his pants down, stuffs the flare up his asshole, and then lights it, and then just starts wiggle-waggle dancing the craziest. And then there's an interview with the guy who's just like, I don't regret anything. I was banging cocaine. I had 22 pints, and I'm just here to make people feel good.
Yeah, so don't ban this guy. He's awesome.
So he is now going to be banned. They're going to write up some specific rules in which you cannot do cocaine openly at matches.
Don't you think if there was an adult version of Santa Claus, it would be that guy?
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Oh, God. It's amazing. And he,
wow.
I wish we could download brains. I wish you could download a brain and watch what his experience was.
I would experience it.
Yes.
Yeah, to feel his reasoning and be like, yep, I guess we are going to do this.
Like the way when you die, you get a highlight reel of your life. I just want to see his highlight reel.
Yeah, his. Right. Not yours
his.
At all.
Yeah, I want his to play.
Oh, God. It's like those old Family Circus cartoons. It's just like the kid, you see ... and he goes to the sandbox. This guy, it's just his day was like, first buy a ton of cocaine, ... into the stadium. There's a flare, ... Now I'm Pikachu, ...
He also snuck into the game 3 different times.
Incredible.
He was kicked out multiple times and then just kept paying people, and then they would just let him back in, which apparently was a big problem as well. So I was in Bulgaria during the
Euros.
final. How do you call them? The Euros.
Yeah, the Euro final, Euro 2020 in 2021.
And this was last week. And so it's like my first night in Bulgaria, and I'm just like walking around, and I'm like, why is on a Sunday night everywhere so packed? And then I realized, like the Euros were going on.
Yes.
And so I was like sitting in like a square with a bunch of people watching it on an outside television, and then I just kept like wandering around, having drinks. And in Bulgaria, they love to have like little bars and parks. And it's beautiful and wonderful. So you just go into a park, and there's just going to be there's a little bar. It's literally open to the park, and you get your drinks, and you just drink in the park. Mm-hmm. And I meet this guy. He's a Bulgarian guy. I don't know how we start talking, but he's like, "You're American." He has like very broken English. We're like trying to have a conversation. I don't know anybody. Yeah, he was a nice guy, but he's like, "Do you know?" I'm not going to do a Bulgarian accent. He's like, "But do you know Robert Frost?" And I was like, yeah, I know Robert Frost. He's like, you do? And then we like talked to. He kept asking me like, what does Robert Frost mean to me? And I was like, I don't know, 2 paths diverging a wood. Like it's like I took the road less traveled by, that sort of thing. And then he's like, I want. And then he pulls up on his phone that poem by Robert Frost that we all know.
You're kidding.
And then had me read it out loud.
In English?
In English. And then all of these like Bulgarians like came, like kind of like walked over while I was like performing this Robert Frost poem. And then afterwards, like people were like, and I was like, why the fuck does everybody know this poem we learned in like 7th grade? And he was just, and I was like, it was amazing. First off, the fact that he spoke English in Bulgaria. Secondly, that he was familiar with Robert Frost. And third, that he just desperately wanted to hear it spoken in English.
Incredible.
It just means that we are the dumbest country in America.
We are dumb.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we're not up there. That's for sure. That's a great story. I love that.
That is great.
Yeah, it was really amazing.
Oh, God. When you travel, you want one of those. Like, even if you're just stopping in an airport, you want one experience like that, like, now, of all the things you did there, you will think of that one forever.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
Oh,
no,
God.
I do. It was difficult traveling alone because you're just walking around by yourself all the time. Mm-hmm. But that made it all worthwhile.
Aparna, do you ever do any solo travels? Do you ever head out on
I haven't solo travel. As a woman, they're like, do you want to solo travel? Mm-hmm. How much do you value your life?
Understandable.
But I should. There was Eat, Pray, Love. There was Wild. There's really forging the path for solo women traveling.
But you go on the road to do stand-up.
I do go on the road. I forgot. I guess that is kind of solo traveling.
Yeah, right? It is.
It is. I guess in that sense, I've seen a lot of Holiday Inn Expresses.
Ooh.
I don't mind a Holiday Inn Express.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't mind a DoubleTree, that cookie. I'll take it.
Bad.
The cookie makes it. It's a weird that just this little thing, this tiny human effort makes a big difference.
It makes a big difference. When you've been on like multiple flights, you're like, you're giving me a cookie? Are we family now?
Yeah, I think that's all it takes. I think you just dive in. If anybody, it's amazing how far you'll go for a cookie. Like if they were like, guys, the front lobby's not open. They are doing cookies around the back of the hotel.
Right.
Like there's a chance on the right night that you take that trip. You walk around the back.
You walk around the back.
I also wonder if you opened a hotel chain and the whole deal was like when the person checked in, they're like, "Do you want a hug?" And you'd be like, "Yes." And then you they come out behind and they give you a hug and they go, "Welcome." And then I bet you people would love to stay there.
People would love it.
It seems creepy now. It seems creepy now, but it'll.
Yeah, now it would be. Yeah. You could be arrested, but.
Yeah, that's.
One thing I don't do as a traveler is, you know how people are always like, hotel rooms, they're really disgusting. Don't touch anything or don't lick anything. But I don't, I never read that stuff because I'm like, I'll never be able to unknow this and then I'll never be able to do anything.
That's smart.
I agree. And also, I just have come to accept that there is bacteria and viruses on every single thing we touch, put in our mouths, or interact with on every day. And if we think about it too much, we will go fucking crazy.
Yeah, we'll be paralyzed.
Agreed.
But I do like when hotel rooms have clearly, like when you're in the room that wasn't part of the original architectural design. Like when you're in a room that is just 3 times longer than it should be and there's not enough furniture in it. Or like there's like a bed all the way against the wall and then there's just a big empty space. I remember an old girlfriend of mine was out on the road and she sent me a picture and she was like, "Scotty, you have to see this." And her room was probably 600 square feet. There was a queen-size bed near the bathroom, a sink in the room, and a sink. The sink for the bathroom was in the bedroom. And then there was just a giant stain in an area of the rug. She's like, "Do you think this is blood?" I was like, "I think it was blood." But the stain was probably 8 feet in diameter and just in a far corner. And I was like, just don't go over there. Like, that's the bad part of the room. Stay away from the dark part of the room.
8-foot stain?
Huge. And no furniture over there at all. Just like they were like, oh, God, just get the furniture out of here. It's just a bed now.
I love that.
I feel like a lot of hotel rooms are trying to be cool now.
Yes.
You guys run into these cool hotels.
And some of their worst.
Yeah, and some of their choices are so odd. Like I stayed in one once for the shower. There was there was no door, there was no curtain. It was just open. Yeah. And I was like, you're assuming a lot of intimacy between whoever's staying in this room.
Yes, absolutely.
Because the water just goes everywhere, and you're also fully exposed.
Yeah, Kurt and I went down to the W Hotel in New Orleans. Oh, you stayed in the W in New Orleans. We did house party. That hotel was the most studied. It's like they had a corporate group of people that were like, what is cool? And then somebody was leaned back in their expensive leather chair and was like, what if we change the mats in the elevators to say good morning, good afternoon, and good night? You're like, that is cool. Yeah. And you're like, that's not cool at all. But the thing, I checked into my room at that hotel, and there were 4 mirrors in the bedroom, all angled in different positions, but also that you could probably see yourself having sex. But when you're just traveling by yourself and working for 6 weeks, you just see yourself in bed in a lot of different ways and feel terrible about it. You're like, God, I better do some crunches or something. But I was like, yeah, what's cool? Let's put so many mirrors that people can't not think about having sex in them. And I'm like, one's good. One's good for
one me. Is even pushing it for a solo traveler.
Yeah.
I don't really need to see myself eating takeout on a bed alone.
Yeah, and then putting it in the trash can next to my bed so I just get to smell it all night. This is fun.
Yeah, tease us out to a break, Scotty.
Okie dokie. Aparna, did you have pets as a child? Did you have childhood
I did.
Animal? What did you have?
We had a guinea pig.
Pretty cool.
We had a guinea pig, and then later we had a dog.
Very good. Guinea pig.
Yeah, like a trainer pet to
guinea
the dog.
pig was a trainer pet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But something odd happened with our guinea pig. We went on vacation once, and my dad's colleague was taking care of our guinea pig, and then when we got back from vacation, they wouldn't return the guinea pig. They wouldn't give it back. They wouldn't give it back. And we would ask our dad every time he came home from work, are they going to give it back today? And he'd be like, no. And then later, they finally gave it back, and this was a male guinea pig, and it was pregnant.
Yep.
Oh, and like you have theories, right? You have theories of what happened, right?
I mean, different guinea pig. First theory.
Good guess. That's theory A for sure.
B, the place we bought the guinea pig didn't know how to gender guinea pigs, and they said it was a male, it was a female.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh. Well, my guess would be that they didn't take care of it properly and it died.
Okay.
And then you kept asking, and the eventual thing was going to be like, no, they're just not going to give it back. And then it's like, all right, you have to go get a new guinea pig.
Oh.
Because they won't stop asking.
Mm-hmm.
It did look exactly the same.
Yeah.
I don't know the variety of guinea pig looks.
What was its name? What was the guinea pig's name?
Aloha.
Great name.
Yes.
Aloha, which means hello and goodbye. Really
a
poetic.
lot of stuff. It works.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah.
That might be the best possible name for any guinea pig. I love that.
I agree.
Well,
give it to us.
Family cleans out storage room, finds pet tortoise missing since 1982. Bananas.
Bananas.
Gather around, let's hear the news. Oh, oh, oh. A crazy story you never heard from all the way around the world. Oh, 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 oh. Driving me bananas, baby. Bananas, banana. Driving me bananas, baby. Bananas, banana.
Ladies, gentlemen, and our non-binary folks, welcome back to Bananas. Scotty, do you have any shout-outs while I tell people that they should go to our Instagram, The Bananas Podcast, and, follow us and DM us your strange news or your personally strange stories, which we will cover in our mini-sodes.
Yes.
And also, while you're at it, go on over to Apple Podcasts and just give us a little review, because for some reason it matters.
It matters way too much. And we have new merch. Go to Podswag, buy our Bananas merch. We have Best in the Biz t-shirts, long-sleeve shirts, glasses. We got it all. The hoodies are back.
Hypercolor is coming.
So treat yourself. Don't beat yourself. Yes, so the banana phone ended last week, but I got a few in before it did. Happy belated birthday to Mark M. from Ohio. I said, how will he know which Mark he is? And the response was a great one. He has a tattoo of a dingo eating a sandwich with a baby in it on his arm. So Mark in Ohio with a dingo tattoo, eating a baby sandwich. Happy belated birthday. And then on a more charitable note, an animal named Bonnie called and told me about cannonballread.com. Cannonball Read is a virtual book club where you read any books you want and write about what you want, all while shouting "fuck cancer." It's an online so basically you try to read either 52 books a year, 26 books a year, or 13, and all donated profits go to the American Cancer Society. It's pretty good. If you like reading, if you want to be in a virtual book club, go over to cannonballread.com. Thanks, Bonnie.
And one last shout out to Peter Ruggiero, his fiancée, Emily Pitts. They both listen to the podcast.
How
and
sweet.
Peter just wanted to tell Emily that he can't wait to marry her in September. Congratulations.
Hey, that's
Bananas.
nice. We need to call this something. We need to think of a word for shout-outs that's bananimal heavy, or we'll think about it. We're going to start calling this section of the little podcast.
The banana mailbag?
I don't mind that. The banana mailbag. Yeah. Let's go with that and never think of it again.
Mailbag-nanimals? We are, of course, joined by our wonderful guest, Aparna Nancherla. Hello, Aparna.
Hi.
We're so glad to have you. We hope you're enjoying these bananas news stories with us.
I am. I think that weird news is really just the nice respite you need when you're scanning those other doozies.
Oh, yeah, and there's a lot of doozies.
There's a lot of doozies.
Did you grow up in a big town or a small town, Aparna?
I grew up not too far from where you're from. I grew up in Northern Virginia.
Okay. It's a unique area. Did you have local newspapers and police blotters and stuff like that? Did you look at that?
We did. We had like the Gazette. I did love the local police blotter.
Me too.
Because it was like a sandwich was recovered.
Yes.
At the corner of 6th and Washington. Yes. Does anyone need this sandwich?
There's a very excellent coffee table book called Checked Out Okay, and it's real. It's from like 4 different newspapers in Western Massachusetts, and it's exactly what you're talking about. If you ever need like an airplane book or something just to laugh at, it's real police blotter, like highlights reel. Checked Out Okay. It is so funny. It's a great little book.
Oh, that's a great name, too. That's like the always the end, right? Checked Out Okay. Oh, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, I think the first time we met, Aparna, was at the Arlington Draft House in like 2008 or something.
Yes.
You and Hampton Yount opened for Kristen and I, right?
I think that sounds right.
Yeah. And that was such a long time.
That's a power lineup. Those are 4 funny comics. That's a really good night. Damn.
It was really fun. Were you guys doing a double act at the time, or were you guys just independently doing stand-up?
I think we were both doing stand-up and dating. It was a classic comedian couple scenario.
Mm-hmm. There it is. Mm-hmm. Small scene.
Small scene, yeah. Small town, small scene.
It happens. All right, y'all. Let me tell you about this tortoise. This was sent in by Sue_Santa44. Thank you, Sue_Santa44. From treehugger.com, but I also verified it on a bunch of other sites. Not that treehugger.com isn't a bona fide newsmaker. Written by a guy whose name sounds up like Treehugger isn't a real site. Stephen Messenger. So thank you, Stephen Messenger at treehugger.com. He is the best in the biz. There's no doubt about it. Okay.
No doubt.
Back in 1982, the Almeida family was saddened to learn that their beloved pet, Manuela, a young red-footed tortoise, had gone missing. Their house was under renovation at the time, so the family just assumed that the slow-moving animal had slipped out through the gate left open by the construction crew and disappeared into a forest near their home in Brazil. But they could not have been more wrong. Good cliffhanger, Stephen Messenger. The true fate of their lost pet remained a mystery for the next 30 years. That is, until they were met with an unexpected surprise. I mean, this is so funny. This is so ridiculous. After their father, Lionel, passed away, the Almeida children returned to help clean out his cluttered storage room upstairs. As it turns out, the father was somewhat of a hoarder, so the room was absolutely jam-packed with things he had found on the street, like broken televisions, furniture, magazines. Deciding it was mostly junk, the family set out to move it all out to the trash bin out front. But while their son, Leandro, was making a trip to the dumpster with a box of broken records, a neighbor upstairs asked him if he intended to throw out the tortoise that was holed up inside. At that moment, I turned white, and I did not believe, says Leandro to Globo TV. That was when the Almeidas learned that, amazingly, the turtle had managed to survive for 3 decades in that room. The family suspects it had been able to sustain herself by eating termites, which, thanks to all the unwanted furniture their father had collected, were in abundance. And although she seemed to be surviving and healthy in the confines of the storage room, Manuela is no doubt pleased, in her own way, says Stephen Messenger of treehugger.com, to be reunited with the family that had thought she was long lost forever. A happy ending. Manuela is back.
Amazing. Wow.
30 years.
There's so many questions. Was it creeping out to the toilet to drink at night? Like, where was it getting its water from?
Yeah.
Maybe the termites.
This is my... I feel like we've done this story before. Have we not done this story
Katie,
before?
have we done this story before?
Am I just having crazy deja vu about
I don't think we have.
Another tortoise discovered after 30 years? Because my recollection was there was one in a garage. Was this not in a garage?
This was in a storage room upstairs. So maybe we posted one about, but I don't think so. Katie, if you remember, let us know. But we're sticking to it no matter what. I had when I was a kid. God, I wish I had a guinea pig. Those are aloha the guinea pig. Katie says no. We're going. Manuela's our first red-toed tortoise story. Woo! We did it. It only took 60-something episodes, but we got a lost and found tortoise. So when I was in like 6th grade, summer just started, and sometimes in neighborhoods, like all the kids in that neighborhood get into one thing, and that year it was hamsters. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I have no idea. But suddenly, every kid I knew went to Wet Pet Supermarket, which was our local pet store, and at the Wet Pet Supermarket.
What?
Was it only wet pets?
It had everything. I don't know why it had turtles.
If they're not fish, we are constantly dumping water on these pets. You will not find a dry pet in the house.
They're soaked.
Birds, wet. Hamsters, wet.
Wet.
Bringing your cat, we'll pour water on it. We're Wet Pet Supermarket in Reisterstown, Maryland, in the Ames Shopping Center. So we all go and get them. We all go buy those plastic Habitrails, the Palace kit, which had the wheel built in and all that stuff. And I had one that I just named Cheerios because the only thing I'd eat was Cheerios. And it was a golden hamster, and I think I just got it because everybody else was getting it. And one day I go down and it's gone. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right. That was probably my own negligence. I probably left something open. Cheerios is gone. Instantly sold that Habitrail kit thing, the plastic tank, to a neighbor. Didn't really think about it again. I had other pets. 3 months later, we're playing Spud up the street, probably a quarter mile away, and we're playing this game, and my friend's like, what is that? And I look over, and there's Cheerios just charging through the grass, happy with its freedom.
A wild hamster.
It made it 3 months in Maryland humidity, out in the wild. I lived in the woods, like all woods, animals, everything, and it had made it so far up the street. And so we were all afraid of it. Because we're like, this thing's gone feral. This thing's been out here so long. It's seen shit that'll change it. We were like, this thing is not the Cheerios that I knew years ago. And so we caught it in a shoebox, and we gave it to my friend's little sister wanted it. And the weirdest part is 2 weeks later, Cheerios gave birth. So we don't know how, what. Did it, can they suspend their pregnancy? Does it take 2 weeks? I don't know. But Cheerios lived on the lamb for 3 beautiful months and then wound up in the yard we were playing games in and then had babies 2 weeks later. So, guys, anything is possible in this world. Miracles can happen.
Wow.
But I guess we learned anytime a pet leaves, it is to get pregnant.
That is the only thing we can conclude from the research that has been done.
Yeah. In these two very different case studies, Cheerios and Manuela, I bet Aloha would have done fine. Yeah, Aloha. Yeah, 3 times in a row.
Do hamsters exist in the wild? I've only heard of them as pets.
Great question.
No idea.
That is a great question. Just imagine a herd of hamsters.
A wild herd of hamsters.
Smile.
I think golden hamsters, which are the classic one you get here, are also called Syrian hamsters. So maybe in Syria they run wild. Maybe they run wild and free in the plains of Syria.
Wow.
Did
you know? This is just a throwaway, but an animal sent this in. Do you know in Alberta, Canada, they do not have rats? Because they illegalized them in the 1800s or something.
Okay. So people hunted them?
Yeah, hunted them. And then they have at the border, they just kill all the rats that come in. Isn't that crazy? And so it's rat free. It's been rat free for 70 years, apparently.
So I could have left my 7-Eleven Big Bite right on a park bench overnight, come back the next day. It's still going to be there.
It's still going to be there.
Okay. I'm moving to Alberta. Alberta, we're coming for you on the banana
We're coming
store.
for you.
But that's the fact they killed him at the border. That almost implies there's like a rat border crossing. Someone's just monitoring for rats. It's not like they come in with their little green cards.
Yeah.
in a row. Only
In a
using
row.
certain entry points.
Like Fievel.
Just huddled
With
masses.
a little briefcase of clothes.
Like, I'm here for work. For honest labor.
And the Canadians are like, not in this town, and just get their big whacking hammers out. No! That's pretty cool.
Are you guys ready for another one?
I
Yeah.
would love one.
Okay, here it is. Land lobsters from hell are emerging in Big Bend after summer rains.
Okay.
It's a lot to process.
Yeah.
Land lobsters from hell are emerging in Big Bend after summer rains. This was sent in by, look at that, me again. And
Flying solo.
this is Flying Solo.
Banana of the week.
This was in something called the MRT. I'm unsure what the MRT star is.
Okay.
And it was written by Abigail Rosenthal.
Oh, she's good. She's the best in the
very
business.
good.
She's good. Aparna, she's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything sea life on land, that's her beat.
That's hard to write about.
Oh, yeah. Here it is. Rain doesn't just bring floods and flowers. It apparently also awakens creatures that appear to come from the depths of hell. Big Bend National Park in Texas shared a photo this week of a visitor near a campsite. A vinegaroon, a sort of ungodly land monster that can shoot acid from its tail.
What?
Yeah. And apparently this vinegaroon is on the hunt for food and love.
Ooh.
Aren't we all? Vinegaroons are also known as whip scorpions and hunt other insects for food. They can also shoot a, quote, well-aimed spray of 85% acidic acid.
Wow.
Or more commonly known as vinegar.
Oh. Okay. I'm a little calmer now. Okay. They squirt vinegar. Get your French fries.
Yeah.
Gosh.
And they have after that, at that point for me is when the article falls apart completely.
Yes.
And then the title "Land Lobsters from Hell," they could just say a funny-looking scorpion is here. That's it. It just looks like it's a 3 inches long. It looks like a scorpion, but instead of like a thing on its tail, like a hook or a barb,
okay,
it has like this very weird kind of like hose.
Oh.
That can squirt vinegar, apparently.
Yeah. Still not a picnic, but not as bad as land lobsters from hell. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like it's this big. He's a little guy. He's just getting by. He's just getting by a vinegar.
Aren't we all?
I thought scorpions, like usually I'm like, scorpion, oh, I'm going to watch out. But if it's just shooting salad dressing, I think it'll be okay.
Oh, delightful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to clean my coffee maker anyways. Come over here, sir, after a good rain. Wow.
Yeah, no, mix him up with an oil-a-roon, olive oil out his tail, and have yourself a snack.
Yeah.
Where was this, Kurt? What country
This is
are we?
in Texas, in Big Bend.
The country of Texas. Big Bend, Texas.
The country of Texas.
They
Yeah,
sort
Big
of do
Bend
their own
National
stuff
Park.
down there. That's
They do.
very interesting. And I wonder, sometimes like when you travel, you see things and like you get excited when you see new birds in other countries, but then when you're here, there's like a robin sitting on your windowsill and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I've seen that a million times. Not interested. I wonder how long it takes when you see the vinegar squirting scorpion that you're like, wow, this is so cool. And then the rest of that hike, you're like, I'm not looking down again. I am over it. Like I saw a tarantula in Grand Canyon National Park once.
Really?
And it was just crossing the sidewalk, and I stopped where I was and I watched it for 5 minutes because I had never seen a tarantula before. And then I grew bored with it, and a family came up and I was like, hey guys, there's a tarantula right there, be careful. And they were like, really? And then they took out cameras and they're taking photos, and as I was walking I was like, geez, guys, get over it. It's just a tarantula.
You normalized it that quickly.
Yeah, immediately.
5 minutes. It was like, oh, it's old hat to this old dog.
I know. I wonder about that for like global warming, because we always, I'm always constantly scared about climate change and global warming and what it'll be like for my children's life. But they'll just be like, "Oh no, yeah, this is the flood 6 months when it's constantly flooding, and then the next 6 months will be constantly baking." You just totally normalize it immediately.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was flooding in New York, wasn't there? Aparna, did you guys get nailed with rain or a hurricane, or what was that?
We got a lot of rain, and at least for Brooklyn, there was a flood alert, but I don't think we actually got flooded. I heard there were floods in Germany.
Whoa.
Yes. Very bad.
Very bad flood.
Gosh.
And in China as well.
Yeah, it's
I
just
guess
wild.
it's a little bit getting there already.
Mm-hmm. I always wondered in New York, because when it rains in New York and these guys are selling $2, $3 umbrellas within 45 seconds of the first raindrop, it's like a miracle. I always wondered if they would have rafts, like inflatable rafts in the future, because with the storm surges and like the oceans rising and stuff. I'm like, those guys are going to be, that water is going to come over Battery Park, and there are going to be men selling $15 inflatable rafts instantly, and you'll see people like, I still got to work. I still got to earn that money.
And paddles are $20. The rafts are 15, the paddles are 20.
I always wonder with those guys where the supply chain is.
Yes.
Where are they getting the product?
Yeah, right? It almost seems like it comes from underground, like in the steam factory that's underground in New York City. They're also making umbrellas that just
That's what the rats are doing.
That's what they're doing.
So for our bananimals who don't know what the hell the three of us are talking about, in New York City, specifically in Manhattan, when it starts to rain, there are men on almost every street corner that have these little black umbrellas with little plastic handles and a little square silver button that you push. They work 80% of the time. They work pretty well, unless there's a breeze of over 3 miles an hour. But as soon as it rains, within 10 seconds of it raining, you can buy an umbrella in New York City. It's the craziest phenomenon. Yeah. They are, in their own way.
They're basically disposable umbrellas. It's like one use only.
And if you live in New York for 10 years, you have bought 100 of these things in 10 years.
Yeah, there's this one closet that's all broken umbrellas.
Absolutely.
So, Aparna, why don't you plug anything you'd like to plug, and then Scotty will give us one little teaser on the way out.
Yeah.
Okay, what can I plug? I guess I did a guest part on the upcoming season of Modern Love on Amazon.
Fantastic.
I think that's the next thing coming out, season 2.
Are you one of the lovers?
I'm not one of the lovers. I am a friend of a lover.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah. No, a coworker. I don't even know if we're friends.
That's exciting. And then Butterboy Comedy is every Monday.
Oh, yes. And Butterboy is back in Brooklyn Monday nights at 8.
Yeah. Interesting fun fact is that same slot at that same place was where Hot Tub was.
Yes.
My show, which is now in Los Angeles.
Amazing.
And it went from Hot Tub to Wyatt's Next Night Train to you guys doing Butter.
Great venue.
So I guess we're your grandchild show.
Yes. You are our grandchild show with no relation.
No relation. Yeah. No relation at all.
So good. Also, Aparna is probably the funniest Twitter account out there. So if you still are using Twitter like some of us still are.
Yeah, even I have slacked in my Twitter usage.
It's fading. Thank God it's fading. It's fading.
I know. It had to go. It had to go.
Okie dokie. I'll get us out on this one, guys. Sent in by Gretcha Sketch 22. Good name. Thank you, Gretcha Sketch 22. It was on Mashable.com, and they don't credit their writers. So hooray for the internet.
Thank you, Mashable.
And I also verified this one, too, but thank you, Mashable. Woman sues company after she won a Toyota that turned out to be a toy Yoda. So The force is not strong with this one. 26-year-old Jody Berry worked at a popular restaurant chain known as Hooters. In order to drum up some competition between its staff, managers decided to have a competition to see who could sell the most beer in a month. Great competition at Hooters. Great idea, guys. The winner was to receive a new Toyota. Jody won the competition, outselling her coworkers, and went to claim her prize, but Jody was blindfolded, led into the restaurant's parking lot, and when the blindfold was removed, Jody was devastated to find that the prize was, in fact, a toy Star Wars Yoda doll. I mean,
this sucks so much.
This is evil. This is
These
so bad.
These people fucking suck, and I hope she wins this lawsuit.
Very good. Jody quit her job, as would I.
Well, I would quit on the spot.
We're pacifists on this, but I would have thrown a wing at somebody. I'm sorry, I would have. Jody quit her job and decided to sue her former employees for fraudulent misrepresentation. She won the suit, Curdy B.
She did.
She won.
She won and was settled for an undisclosed amount of money. However, one of the lawyers...
Toyota's worth of money.
Yeah, a Corolla's worth of money. One of the lawyers in the case said the amount could easily allow her to head over to the closest car dealership and, quote, pick out whatever type of Toyota she wants.
Oh, that's great.
She came out.
Oh,
wow.
Good for you, Jody Berry.
Yes, nice work, Jody.
You think there should be a different word? Like, you know how when you're catfished, it's like you think you're getting a sexy lover and it's not who you thought? There should be an equivalent word for you think you're getting a cool prize and then it's a shitty prize. What would it be? Chicken winged?
Yeah,
Buffalo
chicken wings
winged?
good. Yeah.
Chicken winged, yeah.
Yeah, you got chicken wings.
Yeah, buffalo winged actually works. 'Cause to be buffaloed is to be tricked, right?
You got buffaloed.
I didn't know that.
You got buffaloed.
I don't know. Maybe
You
that's
said it
just
with such
I didn't make that up.
Oh, dude,
I fully went with it. Oh, yes.
I don't know. I feel like it's true, but maybe I just feel like it's true. You know, that's not really true.
Yeah, you got buffaloed. It sucks.
You got
we were
buffalo-winged.
told that we were going to get tickets to a concert. We got buffaloed. It was, it was just tickets to see a virtual concert from the comforts of our home. And you're like, it's not really the same. I kind of got buffaloed just then.
Yep, there we go. You got buffaloed, guys. That's the name of this episode.
You got
Getting
buffaloed. Yeah, getting buffaloed. Thank you so much,
right.
Aparna.
Thanks for having me.
Wonderful. Thank you. Please come back. This has been
Bananas Podcast. This has been an Exactly Right production.
produced and engineered by Katie Levine.
Theme music by Kahan.
And all of our artwork is done by Travis Millard.
You can follow us on Instagram at The Bananas Podcast, where we post stories every day and things that we don't cover on the podcast.
Listen, subscribe, and please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcast.
And if you're interested in advertising on Bananas, please email us at thebananaspodcast@gmail.com. That's thebananaspodcast@gmail.com.